It's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and it may look a little red, but Bitcoin is on the rebound, off only, 1.2%, or sitting at 67,432. Yet while it took a little bit of a breather, everyone else kind of went in that direction as well. But Aptos and Uniswap, well, they continued to charge ahead. Both chains have some very impressive activity. As you can see, in the last 24 hours, Aptos is up 10%, Uniswap is up 6.2%, and a worthy mention there is Axelar with their 3.9% increase over the last 24 hours. Aptos is impressive. It's a pretty new chain, and they already have 27 million transactions, 2.4 active, that's a key word, active users, and also being a key word within their projects, 1,720 total active projects. And new users, last week alone, in just 1 week, they added 1 million new users. This is a chain that is on fire. We've got some new numbers for XRP LAMM. That would be the Ledger's automated market maker. Vet shared with everyone that there are 2,274 active pools on the AMM. And it's good. It's going in the right direction. But when we want to compare to Uniswap, for example, that was the second largest gainer in the last 24 hours in the top 100 by market cap. Uniswap has 30,000 pools on ETH alone, according to Dune. This is a very good site for you to query, visualize, share, and export data across 75 different blockchains. And it's your window to all these numbers, if you are numbers crazy like I am. Because at the end of the day, the truth can be found in numbers. Huge news is coming out for the XRP Ledger. It has a snap. This is a snap app that will integrate with the biggest EVM, that's the Ethereum Virtual Machine wallet, called Metamask. This was built by Peersyst. Metamask has 30 million users. So now those users will have XRP Ledger right in this wallet, which was developed by Consensus, originally funded by JP Morgan. That was back in 2021, and so they own currently less than 10% since they have their Series D round completed. Consensus is the wallet that is led by Joe Lubin, and who is also the co-founder of Ethereum. Who would have ever thought the XRP Ledger would have this integration? I personally was very surprised. There's an early adopter campaign that's happening. 10,000 XRP are going to be given away in prizes. I will have the person behind this big integration. This will be the CEO of Peersyst on the channel in just a few days. Should you have any questions, I'd love to have you just drop them in the comments. I think many of you now know about the new meme coin website that is out there called First Ledger, and I just would love to see them integrate with this new Peersyst Snap, because it is, open to 30 million active users, and most importantly, this Snap app, along with Metamask, is open source. You always want to ask yourself, is the wallet that I'm using open source? And I'm talking about the code. That is something that is very, very important, as we found out with Ledger, which did not make it open source, and there was a backdoor. Moving right along, I had to look at this tweet 3 times to realize that it really was what I thought it was. And that's Brian Armstrong of Coinbase saying that everyone in Massachusetts should vote for John Deaton. And then Elon Musk chiming in with a big yes. Unbelievable. Congratulations, John. Yes, Deaton for Senate. Here's a little tidbit that I think has missed everyone, and that is the decentralized exchanges are not regulated under the new MiCA or MiCA rules. I hear it both ways, so, I think it's vase, vase, tomato, whatever floats your boat, as they say. So they will allow for USD trading, and because Tether remains by far the most liquid stablecoin in the market, traders seeking liquidity, in my opinion, will provide an additional boost to USD Tether's growth, because we've got this explosion happening in DeFi. So no, I'm not a lover of Tether. I just know that so many people have said that it would be crushed by now. And yeah, maybe sometime in the future it might, but the fact remains a fact about this thread that I put on X is the MiCA or MiCA law does not regulate the decentralized exchanges. So hear me out here. Tether is launching a new tokenization platform. Tether might leverage blockchain's inherent transparency features more aggressively, and this could mean tokenizing their reserves or creating a verifiable on-chain representation of its backing, which would allow anyone to audit Tether's reserves directly on the blockchain. I think this is a very big possibility. Ching, as XRPP put out some of his humor that Kamala Harris was tweeting that she just received $10 million worth of XRP. What meme coins should she ape into, fam? Well, half of this is true, and that is she did get $10 million worth of XRP. It came from Chris Larsen, who said it's time for the Democrats to have a new approach to tech innovation, including crypto. And he believes that Kamala Harris will ensure the American technology dominates the world, which is why he donated $10 million in XRP to support her. Well, that made Ryan Saukis, 2-bit idiot and founder of Masari, very angry. He tweeted out that Ripple's suit against the SEC has always been self-serving BS meant to enrich the founders at the expense of retail. And they've never been the good guys. Oh, wow. This is like the old days. He used to have this narrative and found the good in his heart to make amends and get along, and even invited I think Brad Garlinghouse, to one of his big conferences. But I think this this friendship has been cut off. Have you been lucky? I have been trying to claim some of this free ZHA network token that's floating out there. Lots of people putting out the QR codes, but you have to be fast. I had the app open in less than 6 seconds and boom, too late. It had already been claimed. We found out that Binance has cleaned up their act and removed Ripple XRP, which you see how it used to look on the left, to now just XRP. And that's great. I will tell you that Ripple has a team that's making this change happen across the board globally. In the comments yesterday, somebody said that they listen to stuff every day and they feel like a total monkey in the space, and that they had zero clue about what FS sets even meant. And I felt so bad. I mean, I cover it a lot. It is the way to take your XRP, wrap it, and you'll be able to earn secure, safe yield on the Flare Network site. They're in beta right now on Costin. Yes, you can still practice. I'm going to put a link to that practice site in the description of this video. It's soon to go on to Songbird. Songbird will be in the wild, which means you will be able to use real value on that site. And should it be okay and safe, because the Songbird is a canary network, it's kind of the last step that a project goes through before it goes live onto Flare Networks. 1 to 2 months after proving out that everything is good to go, we'll see it rotate over to the Flare Networks. BTC and XRP are the first 2 tokens that will be able to earn yield. And after that, I think Doge will be added. And yeah, I think we're going to see a whole suite of non smart contract tokens be added. It's going to be fantastic. It's real utility. It has a chance to drive the price up only because if it really is successful, it will increase demand of the digital asset XRP. Otherwise, if the very least, it's going to give you a chance to earn on XRP that might be just sitting there dormant in some wallet that you have. And last but not least, I was requested to do more basic information on this channel. And if I could open up a Patreon just for that. Well, I do have a Patreon, but I really don't cover the basics as I've been building an audience for 7 years. And the majority of my audience has been in the space for, I would say, more than 4 years. So I couldn't agree more, however, that there is a need to still bring new entrants up to speed on the basics. I remember I cut my teeth on Andreas Antonopoulos videos, but he has since hung up his skates, and I learned so much from him. And unfortunately, the modern day Andreas, I don't know if there is someone like that out there. It might be if you want to go somewhere in the middle with Guy from Coin Bureau. He does an excellent job of explanation. Yeah, very complicated issues and topics. He does a good job at breaking it down. The channel is a little bit on the maxi side, meaning it leans heavy for Bitcoin. I'm okay with that, but just be aware. And he doesn't fully understand XRPL either, so just be aware of that too. Modern Investor used to be really up on the ledger, but he's lost some knowledge on XRP Ledger, unfortunately, because, well, it takes a lot to stay current with all the amendments and the Ripple strategy changes. So I'd like to use a crowdsource method today, and that is to ask people to put names or channels of people you think are wonderful for newbies in the space and really focus on the basics. That would help, and I'll be sure to share it. In the meantime, I've got a basics video for you that I've clipped up. It's good, and it helps you understand what is liquidity. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.
The core question I want to answer is, what is liquidity? Liquidity, I think, is one of the most misunderstood concepts in crypto. Many people equate things like market capitalization or trade volume to liquidity. But at Kaiko, we have always been big proponents of using many data types to gain a more complete understanding of a crypto token's liquidity. So there are 4 main metrics that we use to measure liquidity. The first is trade volume. It's still very important. This is just the quantity of an asset that is bought or sold over a time interval. The higher the value for trade volume, typically the more liquid the asset. The second most important that we use, though, is market depth. This is using order book data. Market depth simply refers to the quantity of bids or asks on either side of the mid price for a trading pair. So when you have a deeper measure for market depth, this typically means that the asset is more liquid. The third measure we often use is the spread. This is again derived from order book data. This is the difference between the best bid and the best ask on an order book. When you have wider spreads, this typically means an asset is less liquid. So you really want narrow spreads. And then finally, the fourth is a bit more complex. This is price slippage. This is a metric that traders typically use, and it's to measure the impact of the expected price of a trade on the final execution price. So here on the right, we have an example of the order book for the ETH-Euro trading pair. You will almost always see a visualization of a real-time order book as a type of V shape. You have the bids on the left and the asks on the right. And underneath, you actually have the list, the itemized list of all bids buys and asks sells. And so in this example, the market depth would be like the quantity of these bids and asks on either side of the mid price. And so you can say that you would have, let's say, bids on the ETH-Euro trading pair. You have 60 ETH on the bid side within 10% of this current price. And so in other words, another way to think about market depth is it would take a sell order of 60 ETH to push down the price 10%, if we're talking about 10% depth. So typically a healthy order book is V-shaped. You want there to be a lot of bids and asks because that means it's harder to push up and down the price of the asset, which means it's less volatile. How do the Bitcoin ETFs affect liquidity? So I think overall positively, and we saw that on Coinbase. Coinbase plays a big role in the Bitcoin ETFs, and they have seen a big increase in liquidity. Also because all of these ETF issuers, they need a way to like buy and sell Bitcoin, so they need deeper liquidity. So in terms of liquidity, Binance has higher trade volume than Coinbase, but Coinbase has a deeper order book. Binance versus Coinbase. You can see, yeah, Binance has way higher volumes than Coinbase, but if we go to liquidity, and then we go to Binance versus Coinbase, we can see that Coinbase has deeper order books than Binance.